Master War Machine, you lied to me!
I will be waiting on the other side.
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed the gameplay you just watched. Now let's dive deeper into everything we know about Phantom Blade Zero. This upcoming action RPG plunges players into a dark, evocative world where Chinese martial arts collide with steampunk fantasy. Developed by Beijing-based Studio S Game, it marks the indie developer's bold leap from humble beginnings to the global stage. Over a decade ago, S Game's founder Soulframe Liang created a cult indie title called Rainblood, which blossomed into a mobile franchise with over 20 million players in China. Now reborn on PlayStation 5 and PC and powered by Unreal Engine 5, Phantom Blade Zero is the spiritual rebirth of that saga, massively expanded in scope, yet true to its core vision. Set in the fictional Phantom world, a grim alternate Ming Dynasty China infused with wuxia martial arts, occult sorcery, and mechanized wonders, the game's art direction is dubbed Kung Fu Punk, a fusion of punk flair with martial traditions. The visuals are deliberately dark and gritty, a moody backdrop of rain-soaked streets, eerie forests, and industrial age oddities that make heroes and villains stand out against the gloom. Amid flickering lantern light and clanking machines, players will encounter everything from mythic creatures to steampunk machinery, all coexisting in Phantom Blade's stylish East meets West aesthetic. You play as Soul, an elite assassin once sworn to the Order, an elusive organization that rules from the shadows. Framed for the murder of his clan's patriarch and left gravely wounded in the ensuing manhunt, Soul is saved by a mystic healer, but the encounter decisively and elegantly, rather than merely surviving. Phantom Blade Zero promises a substantial adventure beyond its combat. The main story is expected to take around 30 to 40 hours to complete, and there will be plenty of extra content along the way. The game is structured as a semi-open world made up of distinct maps rather than one giant sandbox. This allows each region, whether it's a misty bamboo forest, a war-torn village, or a lavish steampunk cityscape, to be handcrafted with unique enemies, secrets, and side quests without any filler content. Levels often feature multiple paths and hidden areas, rewarding exploration even though the overall experience remains tightly focused. In between story missions, you might take on optional side quests to learn more about the world or tackle challenging multiplayer dungeons cooperatively with friends. For the truly brave, the developers have included a boss rush mode to battle one boss after another, and even a roguelike mode that remixes challenges for endless replayability. All these features indicate a game built with longevity and variety in mind, catering to both casual action fans and hardcore players who crave extra challenges. Technologically, Phantom Blade Zero runs on Unreal Engine 5, and the team has taken a balanced approach to ensure its striking visuals don't compromise performance. Early demo analyses note that S-Game uses a mix of advanced effects like ray-traced shadows and reflections and optimized techniques, resulting in a smooth, stable frame rate even during intense fights. The game's dark, detailed environments and dramatic lighting come to life without overwhelming the hardware, a testament to the developer's focus on polish. Announced at Sony's PlayStation Showcase in 2023, Phantom Blade Zero immediately turned heads with its deep, dark art style and lightning-fast combat. Importantly, S-Game has clarified it isn't a PlayStation exclusive title. They plan to launch the game on PS5 and Windows PC simultaneously, and potentially other platforms, since no exclusivity deals are in place. As of now, no firm release date has been announced, but the studio expects to reveal one soon, suggesting the release could arrive in the near future. Whenever it launches, Phantom Blade Zero is poised to be a breakout title in the action genre, and a milestone for Chinese-developed games on the world stage. In blending beloved elements of martial arts epics and fast-paced action with a fresh Kung Fu Punk twist, Phantom Blade Zero manages to feel both familiar and excitingly new. It's a passion project that wears its inspirations on its sleeve, from classic wuxia tales to modern action games, yet carves out its own identity with a distinct distinct tone and style. If S-Game delivers on its ambitious vision, players will be thrust into a gripping cinematic adventure, one where every duel is a visceral set piece, and every victory feels earned. Phantom Blade Zero stands as one of the most anticipated upcoming games, promising an immersive, action-packed journey through a world of kung fu, stealth, and steampunk intrigue